Greetings, my name's Dayna and I'm here to represent and cook a Jamaican cuisine which is called Ital Rundown. So this is made with vegetables but it's traditionally used with fish. So I'm using butternut squash, sweet potato, some green beans, some carrots and okra. So I'm just getting my thyme. Part of this ingredients we have fresh thyme, which I'm just removing the leaves from the stalk because sometimes it can be very, hard to digest. Now I'm chopping up the butternut squash, and to do this I always use a vegetable peeler, which is a lot easier than using a knife because the skin is that thick it's really hard to come off. And then I chop it up, take out the seeds and chop them in decent sized cubes because we don't want it to mash out in the actual rundown. Now I'm peeling the sweet potato and then I will chop it up into decent size cubes because we're going to blanch this with the butternut squash, but we don't want it too small because we don't want it to mash out in the actual rundown. We want the pieces to be solid. Now the preparation for the okra, simple, head and tail off and then just chop it into about inch wide pieces. Now these don't need blanching because they're quite easy to cook and you don't want them cooking too soft. So this is swede, so just chopping up the swede, preparing it the same way, peel into decent sized cubes so that it doesn't overcook and mash out. Once all this is done, we wash all the vegetables and then we're just going to put them into a pot of boiling water and let it blanch for about 15 to 20 minutes. Now I'm going to prepare the spelt flour dumplings. So with this it's simple, it is just spelt flour and water, and I use spelt flour because it's an ancient grain and it hardly has any gluten in it, which is a lot easier to digest. So it's basically just kneading it together till the bowl is clean, so you make sure that all the dumpling dough is combined together. So we give it a good knead so that there's hardly any creases in, and we wipe the bowl clean and then we leave that to rest for a bit. So now just as a side dish we're going to do some roasted butternut squash. So I've simply covered these with vegetable oil and then some parsley. Parsley is a nice herb to use and it's very good for you because it helps purify the blood. So we're going to roast these for about 20 to 30 minutes. Now we're preparing the green banana. So we just, same thing like the okra, you just chop head and tail, and then what I'm doing with this, I'm not fully peeling it, I'm slicing it so that I'm going to boil it with the skin because the pot water from this is really high in iron and very good to drink. So we always make sure once you give it the 2 slices, it's easy to come off once it's cooked. So once we've done this, give it a good wash and then we can put them in a pan of boiling water. So once this is done, I always add a bit of oil into the pot before I put the green banana in because this stops the water turning black. So you just put like a teaspoon of vegetable oil in there and that will keep the water clear colour. So now we're going to prepare the rundown. So firstly I'm going to saute some shallot onions, then I'm going to add some green spring onions and I'm just going to saute these on a low heat, and then I'm going to add some grated ginger, some chopped garlic and some scotch bonnet because you don't want the garlic to burn, so this is why we keep it on a medium heat. Now I'm adding my fresh thyme and I'm going to add a handful of pimento, which really does give this an aromatic flavour. So we saute all this together till it starts to soften, and then we add some yellow peppers and some red peppers. This gives it a nice taste but also a nice colour. And then we add in some mixed spice, stir again, just keep stirring so that nothing sticks to the pot. Once this is softened, then we add some vegetable stock. Now this vegetable stock is gluten-free, it's dairy-free, it's lactose-free, and it's yeast-free. So it's very good for you. So again, give it a good stir so that all the ingredients combine together. And then we add the coconut milk. So firstly, I'm going to add 2 tins of coconut milk. I'm going to give it and add the green beans and the okra. Now these are put in raw because these are easy to cook and we don't want them to mash out too much. You know, I like to have the okra like a nice little bit of a crunch. So we give it a stir and we let that simmer for a bit. And then we taste. Once this has simmered for about 5-10 minutes, we add the blanched carrots, sweet potato and pumpkin and butternut squash. And then we give it a good stir so that all the ingredients combine together. And then we add some more coconut milk. And then we stir this again. Let everything come together, all the seasonings. And then we let this simmer for about 20 to 25 minutes till everything's just nicely cooked, not overcooked because we don't want the vegetables to mash. So now we're going to prepare the spelt dumplings. So you just take a ball in your hand, just a little piece, roll it in a ball and then press it flat and shape it and add it into a pot of hot water. And that will boil for about 20 to 25 minutes and it should be cooked. Check in and stir in the pots. So now everything is ready, we can dish up. So we have our spelt flour dumplings, which are nicely boiled. And we can add our green banana. So you see how the skin just falls off so easy. And then we add our Ital Rundown, which is beautiful in flavour and colour. And there you have it, a vegetable Ital Rundown, which looks so good, it's so healthy and it's really good for you.